All right, so before I get into this episode, I just want to say that I am starting summer classes soon. So, well, actually, I'm starting them today. It's Monday, so I will be starting them today. So these episodes may get pushed back to the afternoon to night, depending on how much work I have for classes and how long it takes me to edit these. I'm gonna try to make this one short. Thankfully, there wasn't too much to talk about in here, but to jump right into it. So it starts off for the episode, or before the intro of the episode. They talk about the point system and how, with all the points they use, they are now in the negatives, and how it basically negative things will happen to them, which we see later on in this episode. But it ends with Kaito walking away and saying there's more bad stuff to come and whatnot. So I got he was talking about the bestials, but maybe he was talking about something else. Maybe he was talking about how the point system or the negative point system and the bad things are going to come in this episode, but it felt like it was more so long term versus this episode. So we get to the intro. After the intro, we get the just a little second of the Sixth Ranger doing push-ups and saying like, "Hey, I got to do this for my village." And then we cut to the Evil Rangers in their little pocket dimension, and Evil Blue is basically like, I want him back. I want Don Red back. Fighting him gave me joy and whatnot. While the other two are like, well, he's out of the way. He's somehow came back, but he's gone again. So, hopefully he stays gone this time. But, obviously the Evil Blue Ranger does not want that. So then we get all this, trouble and whatnot with Don Black goes to see Don Pink. They kind of talk, and they have this whole stupid thing where, because there's a dog filter, it's just the ears and the nose, obviously, on the dog filter. Don Pink can't tell who that is, and they play it up as a big joke. And to me, it's like, are you kidding me? you can't recognize that. You don't have her face memorized enough where it's like, okay, well, her eyes are the same, hair's the same, whole face is basically the same. It's like, okay, well, I see a dog. That's what he said. He basically like, I just see a dog. Like, come on, man. Are you that dense? It's so stupid. So then we cut later on in the day. Don Pink is waiting at a table for, I guess it's probably lunch. Maybe it's dinner, but it looked so bright that outside with the sun, I'm guessing it was lunch. And obviously Mio has pain in the back of her head. Don Pink's like, hey, you should have stayed in bed. Blah blah blah. Let me do that. And she's like, no, I'm fine. Don't worry. And so then he goes around the corner. And I don't know how, because he slams his fist up against the wall. And, this right here is like concrete. So, but like in his house, it was like wood or whatever, or plywood or something. I don't know how she did not hear that. But he runs out of the house, basically just goes and, I don't want to say vaporize, but he makes cars disappear. There's no explosions or anything. They just kind of go into wherever they go to. So I don't know how she didn't hear him slam his fist on the wall and hear him just run out of the house. But she turns around and is like, where'd he go? What happened? So then we get the first fight where Don Blue and Don Yellow confront Don Pink, but again, they don't know it's Don Pink at the time of the first fight. And he basically has the Car Ranger ability. We find out at the end. We see the gear for the Car Ranger. So he's very fast, and he just backs and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and just keeps hitting them until they fall over. And then he runs away. And then basically we get this bouncing back and forth of Don Black's looking for Natsumi in the city. Don Pink is hanging out with his wife, making sure she's okay. Then we switch to Don Yellow, and they're in the cafe, and we find out what the negative effect to her was. She lost all mobility in her legs. We find out, I'll say it right now, but we find out a little later in the episode that Don Blue basically loses his ability to cite haiku. But again, we don't find that. It's basically like 2 scenes after this, but I'm just going to throw it in here now just to because there's not a lot that happens. They basically just go to fight in the monster in between. So, she's in a wheelchair for, the rest of this episode until, the very end, which we'll talk about later on. And we get the whole thing where they're mad about the Sixth Ranger showing up. Kind of shows up late. He threw a rock or a big boulder, and it hit Don Blue instead of the monster who ran away before. And so that, they were talking to him about that. So she's sitting in the wheelchair, so they're talking to him about that. Then again, when we get the fight again, they go down into this underground parking garage. I guess it's not really a fight because Don Pink goes down there and he's out of breath, and then all of a sudden they get down there and like, oh hey, it's what's up, did you see the monster and whatnot, and then he transforms, so that they're basically just trying to block all his shots, and then the Sixth Ranger pops up and goes, my time has come, and above him is a little slot machine thing, animation, and it goes to 3 eyes, and then after that it pops out this it's like a little staff, I get. Well, it's like a spear. It's like a mini spear in a way, and it grows when he transforms. So we get transformation. I love the suit. Very good suit design. And he there's this little part in here that's very subtle, but you can tell that this is not full power Sixth Ranger. I believe is it Don Dragon? I believe it is, because he's not outright just slashing, beating up the monsters. Like he's got to defend himself. They're clashing with each other with their strikes and whatnot. So it's very subtle, but it's like, hey, this is not full power Sixth Ranger. He's still got more to learn and whatnot. So I like that. I like that more so than the Sixth Ranger pops up, beats up the monster, and the monster gets away. This is more so of, hey, I'm essentially on par with this monster right here, and he just managed to escape me before I could, fully get used to my powers and, find a way to beat him. So I enjoy that. It's very subtle, but if you go back and watch the fight, it's really noticeable. So then we get that, and we go back to the cafe again, and we get the evil Blue Ranger who can telepathically talk to, I don't know if it's everyone, but we see all 4 of them in the cafe. There's no customers. It's Kaito, and then Yellow, Blue, and then Sixth Ranger are on there. And Evil Ranger goes, "Hey, Don Red's in a pocket dimension. Go get him." And so they make this plan where the Sixth Ranger is gonna go. Says, "Hey, I'll do this for you guys. I'll go get him." Oh, I completely forgot to touch on this because this was just a small little thing before. The evil Blue Ranger telepathically talks to them. There's this little section in this where they're sitting down, and the Sixth Ranger goes, "Well, hey, you guys are disrespecting Don Red. We're following his orders, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "So I'm just going to execute you all, and I'm going to go make my own team." I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me?" Like, what are you doing? So it's just a quick little thing, and then we go to the telepathic thing. But I thought that was very strange of, hey, I'm just going to make my own team because why not? You guys clearly don't know how to follow the leader. It's okay. So then, to get back on track, the evil Blue Ranger finds Don Pink, who's in his transform, running around, destroying stuff in the scrapyard. One slash kills him, but we find out it actually doesn't kill him because this Don Dragon, Sixth Ranger, quickly grabs onto him as he's dying, and they teleport into this little cube in another dimension. Now, we find out that all the people that the evil Rangers have slain, at least what we know of, obviously there was that, 2 or 3 times where we find out that, if the cube breaks, like the people actually die, like the very first episode, and I think it was episode 7, whenever, Don Pink actually became serious earlier on in this series. So I don't know how they depict if, the cube breaks or not, but basically if, the evil Rangers are able to kill them, that typically they end up in this pocket dimension. And so they get in there. Don Pink wakes up. Everyone else is unconscious. Even Don Red's unconscious. So I don't know why Don Pink is able to wake up 2 seconds after being sent there. It's plot, but I mean, everyone else is like asleep or whatever. So I don't know. But then they figure out the strategy of, hey, let's go get him. So the little spear thing, he punches it behind him, and it lets out this. It can spray fire. Apparently, it makes sense because it's a dragon, dragon-based suit and whatnot. So they go flying, and the Sixth Ranger realize, hey, I'm going straight. I have to go left. It's hopefully it's it's probably different on the screen, but I have to go left here to get to the pod or get to the little box, the little cube. So he tells Don Pink, hey, transform, and then we're going to use your wings that break through the glass or of the box, and they steer it left towards the Don Red's box, and they go full speed into that. Like they don't stop. It's just bam, and they pop back up on Earth. So apparently, if you break the box, like completely break the box, that you can get sent back to Earth or wherever you came from. I don't know if there's aliens in that little dimension, wherever they are. There's a lot of like little things that I might make a video just kind of talking about that little dimension and kind of just seeing what you can find in there. No idea where the cars went, especially because there's people in the cars, so I don't know where those go. But there's no mention of that in this episode. So then we get the fight. Don Pink transforms back into the monster, and then we have the team up of Don Dragon, Don Red. They go and beat him up, and it just shows that there's so much just way up here compared to everyone else. Now it's Don Red, and then Don Dragon here again. Still has stuff to learn, but he's clearly way better than the rest of the four. So I said early on in the season, I said let's try to get the 4 of the Rangers up to Don Red's level, but I guess we're not doing that. I mean, they have improved a little bit, but it just feels like there's still a big gap, and it's not a gap you can easily fill in an episode or two. So I feel like I hope there's no 7th Ranger, 8th Ranger, 9th Ranger. I hope they just kind of say, here's 6. We're going to get these 4 back up to their level. They're going to slowly get better too. And then eventually by the final battle, they're all going to be on par with each other. That's my hope. But it's just this episode is very clear of, hey, 6th Ranger Don Red up here, everyone else. That's just very clear with that. So they kill the monster. No Megazord battle. And then Don Yellow, Don Blue pop up. And Don Red basically gives Don Yellow motivation in his own way, and Don Yellow's like, who do you think you are talking to me like that? Because he kind of did it in a cocky way. He says, hey, do it, just stand up and do it, essentially. So then she gets up, runs at him, trips, falls into him, gives him a hug, and the episode ends with them laying on the ground and everyone else just kind of sitting around watching. Next week, I guess the 6th Ranger has like a evil side of his coin or gear, whatever you want to call it, because he turns evil next episode and is going to fight Don Red, and then at the end of the episode they're seen both fighting together, fighting against the monster. So we'll see. I was honestly disappointed. I was very excited. I thought, okay, finally got the 6th Ranger, now we're going to see what he's capable of. And I mean, he didn't do a ton. Obviously, it was mainly centered around him, Blue, and Yellow. But I feel like they focused on a lot more of Blue and Yellow in the first half of this episode, and then went on to do the rest with, the 6th Ranger at the second half. So, it is what it is. I'm going to wrap up here because, 14 minutes, it's still a lot of time, a lot of stuff I have to edit for this video. So for now, like the video, share the video around, subscribe. Again, next week might be a little later. We'll see. But for now, I'm out of here. Peace.